Hi, this is Monk from Team Liquid, and I'm here again with Quantic.Illusion at the WCS or BWC Day 1. Right now, he just 2-0'd Phoenix and lost 0-2 to Parting. Let's start with the first games against Phoenix. How did they go?
He did a cloak banshee into some all-in and then expanded behind it, and I held off the all-in and then I counterattacked and I won the game. It's pretty simple.
In both games, or?
Game 2, I went gas first banshee. He saw me going banshee, so he went gas first reactor, which I thought was going to be a Marine Hellion drop, but he went reactor Hellion into Viking into Raven, and I just kept producing out of all my units and I just attacked and I won.
It sounds pretty simple games, right?
Yeah.
So there were only 4 Terrans in this tournament, and you happened to get matched up against Phoenix, which means that you were guaranteed to play a TVT in addition to probably playing lots of PVZs and PVPs. Many other players in the tournament might only have to practice against 2 races, but you definitively had to play against 3. Do you think this is a disadvantage that you had to spend extra time practicing against a separate race?
On paper, yeah, but I didn't practice for Phoenix.
Okay, that easy?
I wouldn't say easy, but it was just like I won with mechanics.
Okay, so you've been staying at the Startail house for how long?
Around 2 months.
Okay. What do you do there, and do you think it's been helping?
All I do is go out, never practice. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you practice. There's a schedule you have to stick to. So the foreigners technically don't have to stick to it, but I do anyway, and it works pretty well. Usually, it's just you eat, play, sleep. And then on the weekends, you get to go out. And that's pretty much what I've been doing for 2 months.
Do you usually play with your teammates or the Startail players, or it's mostly ladder?
Mostly ladder, but I've played quite a few custom games with Startail players.
Okay. Startail who?
Just the Startail players.
Startail players. Do you do well against them? Like, what's your win rate?
I have more wins than losses, yeah. But I haven't played like Bomber, Parting, Squirtle in practice, but I've played mostly everyone else.
That's really impressive. You were there with State as well?
Yeah.
So I saw your name on the last MLG fall, but both you and State, but neither of you went. Why was that?
Well, my plan from the beginning was not to go anyway. So mine was don't go to any tournament, just focus practicing in Korea, get as much as out of it I can in 2 months, and then go to WCS. And State pretty much did the same thing. So that's why we weren't at any tournaments beforehand.
Okay. So I noticed that I think you got a little skinnier than before, and you changed your hairstyle. Mm-hmm. Does that have to do with Korea, or do you? I know you're Korean, but do you not like the food there, or?
I like the food there. I'm not sure if I got skinnier. I can never tell because I'm not that big to begin with. But my hairstyle, it's more like I cut my hair before I trimmed it, and I was just too lazy to get it cut. So that's why it's like this.
Okay. Is this your first time in China? You came here on Wednesday, right?
No, I was supposed to, but my passport was a little bit late, so I got here on Friday.
Oh, okay.
So yesterday.
I guess I didn't see you before, so yeah, you came with Huck, or?
Yeah, I came with Huck.
On the same plane?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think of? Is this your first time in China, and what do you think about it so far?
Yeah, it's my first time. There's not much I've really seen around because I've only been here for like not even a day yet. Mm-hmm. But from what I've seen so far, it seems pretty nice, and there's a lot of people out there, so nothing bad.
I think Shanghai isn't that like representative of China. It's really close to the Korean cities like Seoul or whatever, and like if you go to different cities, you'll find that it's a lot different. It's a lot more run down, I guess. But
good thing we're here.
Yeah. So what about the state of Terran at the moment? There are only 4 Terrans again at this tournament. Why do you think that is, and do you think there's a problem with Terran necessarily?
I think there's a little problem, but I think there's a lot to do with the fact there were a lot of tournaments that coincide with WCS Korea. I think there'd be at least one Terran from Korea if all the tournaments didn't collide in terms of schedule. But I think the state of Terran right now is just like late game versus like any other matchup besides TVT is just really hard because the way the game works, like Warp Gate, Pylons, and then Infestor Brewlord, but everyone has troubles with that. And the Raven, it's useful, but it's also useless at the same time if they know what they're doing. Like Berserk, I've been testing Raven play a lot, and I found out the Secret Missile range is like 2 or 3 or something. It's really, really crappy. And Fungal is like 6 or 5, somewhere around there. So
I think it's like 7.
I don't even know, but in the end, it'd be okay if Raven. I think it'd be a little bit okay Berserk if Raven was better and Infestor was nerfed a little bit. But I don't know if they're ever going to buff the Raven because they were going to, and then they said MVP and Cass are doing well, so we're not going to.
Okay, so do you think going into late game? So you've been testing a lot. Do you think going into late game versus Broodlord and Fester will be viable? Is that what you'll be trying to do in your games this week?
It's viable, but you really want to end the game before it gets to late, or you want to push the late game as far away from possible. Just keep the pace of the game where the mid game would be. But it's really hard to do versus Festers. But normally you want to end the game faster than Infestor Broodlord.
Okay, and I also forgot before that we were talking about Phoenix, but we didn't mention your stage match versus Parting. At the end, you lost 0-2. Can you give me your thoughts on the games and what happened there?
I think Game 1 showcased a good amount of what my skill looks like so far, and I'm pretty happy with that performance. If I just killed that one pylon that was warping his zealots and sending it to my third, I think I would have been in okay shape the whole game and possibly taken it, because I read his game style really, really well that game. I saw the one Colossus, I clicked on it, it had no range. It's like, alright, no upgrades on it yet, so he's definitely going Templar, so put on Ghost Academy, and then I saw Templar, so I was really happy at that point. But eventually, the zealots that kept coming to my third eventually ended the game for me because I was too spread out. And in my second game on Tomb Valley, I was going to go for a Marine tank all-in, make it look like I was 1x FEing, put the bunker down and everything. But his probo was actually somewhere in there, or he popped I don't know what happened, but he saw that I had no expo. So he probably thought the all-in was coming. But I was going to do it anyway, and my barracks was maybe a second from finishing, or maybe even finished like 65 out of 65, but just not finished yet. And then I hit cancel for an SCV, but I actually selected the barracks while I did that, so it just canceled the barracks. So I tried to come back by taking a hit in expansion, but didn't work.
So I think to get out of this group, you have to beat Phoenix again. Do you think this is very likely?
Yeah, I'm probably just going to look at the replays and see how good his mechanics are and maybe check out their builds again. I wasn't really focused when I was playing those games, I was just kind of playing. But if I won just playing my game without even putting any thought into it, then I should be pretty good for second in this group.
Okay. So I think that's all the questions I have for now. Do you have anything you want to say? Shout outs or sponsors plugging?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Quantic.Illusion, and thanks to Quantic Gaming. You can visit Quantic Gaming at quanticgaming.com, and our sponsors are here.
This is Monk from Team Liquid, and I was here with Quantic.Illusion at the WCS Grand Finals. Stay tuned for more interviews at teamliquid.net.